Ugh. Okay. I think I'm just getting old. There's something wrong with my eyes. There's something wrong with my back. There's something wrong with my legs. There's something wrong with my hearing. Something wrong with just about everything. I mean, I could point at any sort of appendage or body thing, and even there's something wrong with my glasses. There's something wrong with my I don't know socks. It's just there's something wrong. There's just something wrong. That's fine. I think that's the second time I've said that. I'm trying to fill the gap because usually I use this for the beginnings of the pre part of the show on the recordings and whatnot. I mean, you all know this. Everyone knows this, obviously. It's just me. So, not waiting anybody. Don't have a guest. Don't have a special guest. Don't have any kind of thing going on. I could put my picture up next to my business card I got from North Brewing. Maybe. Haven't heard back from anybody yet. But it is 8 o'clock. I am Ross. I am all by myself tonight. Ian is at work. Everyone's busy. So, on my own, choosing what I like, I'm attempting to drink Nova Scotia dry. It's happening. It's happening. Here we go. And if you, I didn't make the announcement earlier today because I went to go get a can. This is how new this one is. The middle one, the Blomidon Red out of Bay of Fundy Brewing. I went to go pick that up earlier today at around like noon or maybe 1:30 p.m. I think it was at the tail end of a late lunch, and they were closed. And I checked everything. I was like, why is it all dark and spotted? And they said, oh, they open at 4. I'm like, open at 4? It's more Wednesday nonsense hours from everybody. Man, when I went in and I talked to like everybody I know there because I go in there a bunch, and I didn't even give them a proper haranguing for not being open for me at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But got the brand new can of red. I'm trying to find any kind of information. Basically, I've had this on tap. They have it on tap in Bay of Fundy Brewing. My wife sent me a picture, a video of something releasing saying, "Hey, it's going in cans, going to be available in cans today." And I'm like, "Cool," and I can't, for the life of me, find that update because I'm trying to find a little bit of detail on each of these, and I'm coming up empty. This is a short answer. So because of that red, the new red available, and I tried it. It was pretty tasty. There's a couple of other reds that we haven't had, and they've just been waiting patiently because and I've in the times I've done a few of these with Ian, and I've edited a few of these, and he always says the same thing. He says reds don't excite him, and I was talking to my friend Ian Smith today, and he said the exact same thing. He said, "Yep, because reds are not exciting." I'm like, but, and I can get excited about a red. I don't know what it is. Red is like it's taste. I don't know. It's tasty lager. This is what benchmark beer should be, like a red ale or a brown ale. So I do like a red. And we went through whether something was always an Irish red or if you can have a red that's not an Irish red. And I kind of do we get an answer to that? I'm uncertain. But we got 3 because judging by my wife's rolled eyes, I'm crazy. But I had 2 reds, and the third one just came out. So I said, well, I got to go get that if I'm doing reds. And then I couldn't choose because I'm indecisive and screw off. I like beer. So, number 1 from Roof Hound Brewing Company, coming in at 4.7%. 4.7, I can drink 3. Is the Origin Story Red. Now, here's the issue: is there is nothing about this beer. This is just a red ale from Roof Hound, and what I like calling it. If they're calling it the Origin Story Red, I think I got it in a large batch just a few months ago. Oh, that's interesting. It smells sweet and malty. I thought it was. Oh, I've just got some. My beer glasses are all gross. Look at that. Yeah, I gotta wipe these and wash these a little bit better the next time. But not getting much out of this, and I bugged Les a little while ago, so I didn't want to bug him again about another one. Is I thought that I could just read, and I'll tell you the origin story of Roof Hound beer. So I'll just tell you that. So Les's grandfather decided to make beer on his own, and he put water, raisins, brown sugar, and yeast in a bucket, placed that bucket behind the wood stove where it fermented, turned to alcohol. He enjoyed his liquid creation, then poured the swollen raisins out in the backyard where the family hound dog, Lady, found them. Lady ate up those alcohol-plumped raisins, climbed up in the woodpile and onto the roof. Then, in a drunken stupor, she moaned and howled all through the night. Now, the further story, that's the our story, the origins and whatnot. So, a bit more is that Les started the brewery after, I think, um, it was after he'd been on Master Chef Canada. Whereas one led to the other. Brewing is one of his. It's just one of his creative outlets. Or was he on Master Chef after he got in there? Steak and kidney pie. I'm kind of reading up on it now. I thought I had a bit more information on this, but apparently I do not. So that was the origin story. It was the story of Les's grandfather creating beer, and then Les just sort of took up the mantle himself, looking for things. I've talked to him a couple of times about this, but it's been years since we sat down. I like the color is a little bit more in the coppery brown, coppery yellow. It's got an interesting smell to it. Does it have a titch? I'm getting a little bit of the tomato soups off of it. But since my 16-ounce Roof Hound glass can't hold the entire 500 milliliter bottle, I got to drink some of this down. So, beer number one. Cheers. Oh, hang on. Oh my. There is it's quite light. It's light on the front, and then there's a bit of, and then the body kind of picks up in the middle because there's a sweetness or even a chocolatey. Oh, it does not smell near as good as it tastes, but it smells very unassuming. I guess would be the best way of putting it. I did try looking it up. The origin story. Red Roof Hound Brewing. Menu highlights. Oh. Wait, why are you not showing me things? Oh, don't give me that. No, it's not telling me a thing about Roof Hound Brewing. So how about Roof Hound Origin? Because I keep searching for just like the basic internet search, but it doesn't always search social media posts, which is really annoying. Because then you can't find certain things about it, and you're like, oh, well, you got to go over to Instagram. Yeah, did you search on Instagram? I'm like, I don't want to search on Instagram. You're talking to a guy who you used to have to search, and it was the battle of the search engines back in the early days, mid 90s of the internet, where you had, oh, would you search on Yahoo, or would you search on Lycos, or would you search on Webcrawler, which was one of my favorites, and then there was Alta Vista. So those five, someone finally made a website that was called Metacrawler, and Metacrawler would search all five for you. And I thought, there we go, finally, do the search for me and come back with the information. So if Google is not searching Instagram anymore, then what the heck are you good for? Red Ale Roof Hound Brewing. Let's try this. That's the Foolishly Optimistic. I know that one. The beer. So it's just, yeah. So on the Roof Hound page, they still just got the Garage Band Hazy Pale Ale, the Riot, the this and that, the Triple Threat, the Orange Phoenix Zest of 7, Lady Azaka. This is the origin story red. It's a little hazy. It tastes like a red ale. In that it's coming over more to an interesting coppery thing. What's it reminding me of? Doesn't remind me of the Garage Band Pale Ale. Honestly, it is reminding me a little bit more of the chocolate stout, specifically the cherry one, because it's got kind of a fruited a fruited sweetness about it. So this is interesting. I'm not sure. 'Cause there's no flagship red ale. There's no consistent Irish red or red beer going on at Roof Hound that I know of. So he's probably going to tell me something about, oh, it was an experiment, didn't quite go my way, or I don't know. It was very quietly in there, and I just sort of I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, oh, well, I mean, if it says red on there, I'm gonna buy your red ale because I'm just sick of lager, pilsner, session IPA to a lesser extent. Even though I do enjoy a good session IPA, there's a little bit of Bublé's, the head's sticking around on it. It's got a little bit of the legs. It's got a lovely consistency. But good carbonation. Lovely body to it. I really like this. This is very well sessionable, definitely at 4.7%. Oh. And it's a good mouthfeel. I like the mouthfeel on it. It's very smooth. Very no bitterness. You're not expecting bitter on a red, but you do occasionally get that on a red, where you kind of get this smack of a bite on the end. I'm like, I want that. I want a nice, smooth, nearly fully malty kind of thing. So am I getting more than just a malt flavor out of this? Is there any hop? Good question. No. So it's there's no bitter, there's no kick, there's no bite. Is very smooth as a chocolatey malt, kind of in the middle of it. This is like if you could have a diet, I don't know, like a watered down a diet stout or a diet porter. That's what this would be. So it almost I don't know. Does it taste more like a brown or a pub ale than a red? I like it. It's quite nice. It's not exactly the flavor that I was expecting for a red, because usually you get a little bit of a bite, a little bit of a sharpness to it. Hey, that's a good question. Why don't we look that up? He asks himself, and immediately responds in the same way. Didn't I have a here we go. It's under beery things. The Canadian Brewing Awards 2025, my go-to, and we go in and see what there is to say about judging. Allô, les juging. Can you find me les juging? Here we go. Competition style categories. Allow then. And we'll do a search for red. Unfilter red. No. Belgian style Flanders Oud Bruin or Oud Red Ale. What? Oud? Is it O-U-D is an out? It's an oud red ale, because you never say the L in there. Irish style red ale. Well, let's try that. Copper red to reddish brown. Yeah, okay. Chill haze, yeast haze, maybe present at low levels. I wondered if it was a little yeasty. Low to medium candy-like caramel malt sweetness should be present in flavor. Yes, toasted malt should be present. There may be a slightly roast barley or roast and caramel. Yes, it's there. Perceived hop aroma and flavor not present. This is freaking good. Perceived bitterness medium. It's not very bitter. Low-level fruity esters are acceptable. Diacetyl is usually absent in those beers. This 2025 Beer Awards, this could win. I think this would do quite well. Alcohol by volume between 4.0 and 4.8. Ooh, getting in there. Well done. Maximum of 4.8 for an Irish style red ale. Honestly, I think this is the one. This has done what it's supposed to do. Is there something turning me off of this and not calling it my favorite ever? Yes, but what? Is it the temperature? No. There's the body, the hold, the stickiness of the flavor turns that caramel sweet malt into another flavor that is a little bit unwelcome. But that may just be because I've held on to it a little too long. A 4.8 4.7 beer wouldn't age well, for example. But we got some newer ones. So if this is where we start, I'm very excited. I think that accidentally, maybe not me, because I mean, clarity wise, are you not going to tell me if it's supposed to be clarity? Chill haze, may be present at low levels. It looks gorgeous. I didn't realize that. I'm learning things. So this is your Irish style red ale. Can I find? Were there more reds? I think there was more reds. Unfiltered, blah blah blah. Yeah. So we had that, and then the oud red ale, American style amber red ale, or the strong red ale, double hoppy red ale. I mean, come on. I want someone to make me a imperial red ale. Yes, please. Why is that one not showing up? It's not showing me the first in the series uh of my searches here. Copper to very dark. This is the old red ale. Ooh, it's old, oaky or woody flavors. This seems delicious. I want to try these beers, please. The Brewing Awards 2025 are in. Oh, shipments accepted. Competition rules. Competition website. I want to volunteer. No, I don't want to volunteer. I want to know who won. Good. So March. Deadline has been extended to March. Judging dates were in March. Who won? Can I... No. Competition website? 2025 winners. There we go. That's what I want. I want to know if anyone... Oh, yeah, we did learn that someone from Nova Scotia did win. The Juicy IPA apparently won gold for American IPA. Fine. Have we not looked at this yet? Nova Scotia. Apparently there's 8 Nova Scotian entries. The bronze for Berliner Weiss and Goes went to the Saltwater Cowboy from Tatamagouche. The Black IPA won gold for experimental and specialty IPA from Schoolhouse. What did I think of that? That's a good question. Blackboard Black IPA. I thought it was all right. I apparently like other black IPAs, but there you go. And then the Hefeweizen won bronze for German wheat and rye beer. Don't remember liking that. Queen Bee from Burnside still winning gold for honey beer. That's quite good, I'll give you that. The Patricious Irish Stout got silver for from Boxing Rock for the Irish Stout. Interesting. Two Rivers Baltic Porter out of Tatamagouche for other strong beer. Don't really remember the percentage of that one. And Tatamagouche for the Lilith Bourbon Aged Imperial Port something ... Okay. So no one won with a red ale of whatever kind. Herb, spice, chili, pumpkin, rye, ginger, and Sancho pepper from Quebec. Lovely. So where's the reds? Belgian sour beer. Was there an oud red ale? American red. Winners. The Gahan Island red. Well, there you go. Okay. So I think I've had that one, or at least yeah, the Irish red ale. British Columbia, and Ontario. I have not had any of those, so that's fine. And American red. PEI won that. Belgian triple red mosquito. That's a thing. Irish red ale. Yeah, and we've been through that. So, yeah, the Gahan Island red is the only one I would have heard of. So maybe not amazing winner, but quite nice. I do appreciate, the velvety... It's velvety down the middle. It's a velvety chocolateness to it. I'm going to mark that very nicely. But I'm going to try the other ones. So, So, moving on. First, moving on with Bay of Fundy Brewing. Booyah! Changed my location over there in the video. And I finally got my hands on my Bay of Fundy Brewing Company glass. I wasn't drinking Bay of Fundy beers from the Wayfarer's glass. I was happy with my Wayfarer's glass. I like that one. But it's basically going to have to move to the retired section. What is... The problem is when you get the used ones from the pub. But when they're not selling them, you have to take the used ones from the pub, is what I'm saying here. You can get special treatment. So the Blomidon Red is brand new. Just came out last week. Just finished being done. Is a 4 point... hello? 4.8. 4.8% alcohol by volume. And on the side of the can, it does say... Oh, no, that's about the Bay of Fundy Brewing. And then, oh, man, it's even... Holy cow, it's even smaller lettering for the beer. Inspired by the red cliffs of the Annapolis Valley, Blomidon Red is a smooth, well-balanced ale with a rich amber hue. Notes of toasted caramel and subtle earthiness provide a malty backbone, while a light body and gentle floral hop aroma keep things crisp and sessionable. 4.8, you're going to be sessionable. If I remember correctly, I tried this and I thought it was interesting. It had a bit more personality to it because there was almost a spice. Ooh, yeah, okay. There's like a little bit of a spiciness going on. And again, coppery amber, copper brown. Oh, I think that's it. I love the color of a red ale. Le regard. Look at that delightful golden hue. It's similar-esque, but the Roof Hound was hazy, surprisingly hazy, suspiciously hazy. Suspiciously? No, just it were a lot of surprise and whatnot. I've got to fit in all me English accents because Ian's not here, so we got to get them all in. And if we do slip into the odd Michael Caine, then it's just gonna happen. I tried looking up anything about this one as well. You know, even to go so far as to search on the Bay Fundy Instagram post. My wife sent me a picture, which is a screenshot of some kind of social media on her phone, and I thought, is that a Facebook post? It might be a Facebook post, or is it an Instagram post, or is it a TikTok? I cannot tell. Bay of Fundy, I realized that maybe I didn't check Facebook, and maybe this is where it's going. New beer drop. There it is. Blomidon Red, 4.8%. Our love letter to the red Blomidon cliffs that look over the bay. Notes of caramel, their gentle hop spice. Successfully smooth red ale is the perfect fall beer, available in pints and cans in the tap room. There it is. So it's on Facebook. Is it on Instagram? No. Should it be on Instagram? I don't know. And I don't think... This is a different picture than my wife sent me, because she sent me one of it saying, hey, it's now in cans, woo! And they were celebrating the fact that it was going into cans. And that is different than the picture that I'm looking at currently. I'm trying to get the last bits of this in here. Oh, yeah. This particular glass, even with a frothy head on top, look at that. Fits the whole thing. Thank you for the... Oh, dear. Now, a quick check of how many milliliters is 20 ounces. 591. So, how many ounces is what are these, 473? Oh, MP. No, I want ml. Because these are 473, which is a 16 ounce. This is a 16 ounce, quote unquote, pint. Oof. Now, 500 gives you 17 ounces. So, a regular tall boy is a 16 ounce glass, but a Roof Hound glass, that 17 ounces. So why doesn't Why doesn't one of these tall boys fit in certain ones of my 16 ounce? Like, look at that. Look, it's in this glass, my new Bay of Fundy glass with room to spare. I'm loving that. Look at the cooler. So that's the whole thing. Yeah, I can be Zordon from Power Rangers. See through the whole thing. Delightful. Like you can see, there's a little bit of the fizz. Now the fizz isn't really showing up through there. Oh, that smells nice. There's a weird. Oh, what's the? Does that smell like cigarette smoke? That's kind of weird. You're not supposed to smell like that. Is that just something burning along down here? Oh well, we're gonna find out what the smoke tastes like. Anyway, cheers. Oh, yes. Mmm. Oh, mmm. There's a tangy smokiness to it. Oh. Mmm. I like that. I like that a whole bunch. It's not what you're expecting out of a red to get a smoky, yeah, earthy, malty backbone, light body, gentle floral hop aroma. This is notes of toasted caramel and subtle earthiness and a malty backbone. Yeah, because it tastes like baked wood chips. That's good and woody. That is that is a woody red ale. I like that. It's a 4.8, so it might not be my favorite for having at ye old pub, um, unless you're sessioning for whatever reason. We haven't had the High Tide IPA. Good. Okay. Well, I bought a can of it. Well, because I happened to go in, so I just bought some other ones. And my wife likes the is it cranberry sour? Cranberry sour, and they also had the Henniger's peach cider, and I think that's the four I got. Oh man, I got her the cranberry sour, didn't I? I hope I did. If I didn't, I'm in trouble. This is very good. I very much like. I had like a little sip of it. I don't know that I had a full pint of it. The flavor is almost unexpected. It's good in a slightly different way than the Roof Hound one. The Roof Hound was like pinging everything for the competitive. It is a red that I was not quite ready for. It's kind of more of a full-bodied hazied one. But this red ale, oh, you know what? I should have invited Rebecca to join me tonight. That would have been fun. But I've done that before, haven't I? Poor Rebecca. I only have her on the show when I'm doing red ales and she's got red hair. Poor typecast person. Uh, it's got a bit more body to it. Like the flavor is there, and the smokiness, and not maybe not quite spice. Definitely not bitter, not bite. Maybe a tiny amount of bitter at the end. Oh. I don't know. The smoke. That's a it almost tastes like a smoke beer, but I have had a German smoke beer before, and I know what happens to you. You feel like your house is on fire. You feel like something has definitely engulfed in flame, and you are just kind of reeling from the result of it. Oh, that's very nice. I do really like that. I'm starting to feel like I mean I feel like I would judge both of those the same sort of way. I'd give them both pretty high marks. Low nines, high eights. The Roof Hound, I would give it mostly based on what judging should be. So I think I like that one a little bit less than I like this one personally. So of my personal opinion, this Bay of Fundy one is it's an interesting red. It's something to talk about. It doesn't just kind of blah, 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 go away. So maybe I almost dipped down really low for the Roof Hound in my head, but I'm trying to keep the Bay of Fundy one nice and high. I think this Bay of Fundy one might be a 9.2, and the Roof Hound an 8.8. I think. For now, I may we may adjust these kinds of things, but for now, did I say 992 or 93? I've described this to Ian, where basically I keep going up until I say, yeah, that's good enough. Or you say, is it a 9.2? Yes. Is it a 9.3? Yeah. Is it a 9.4? No. And I have no idea why. I just know that that's a number that I will not apply to it. So it is a 9.3. All right, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. It is, yeah, we're a half hour in. I do like that. It reminds me not of a beer, but how a beer comes across, like my reaction to a beer. And it's another red. The Butcher Block Red from Tatamagouche is another one of my favorites, just because it's so surprising. It's so interesting. It's got a personality to it. It's not just kind of a here is a, I don't want to say cowardly, but just a beer with a little bit of a zip, because like my Ians say, they are bored, unimpressed, disinterested in red ales, and I'm like, that's because you gotta find the feisty ones. You gotta find the cool, interesting, nifty ones, like this one, with the earthy smoke to it, or the Butcher Block, which has this crazy, meaty spice. It's like it tastes like Montreal steak spice. It's really cool. The main problem with it just being me, I mean, I'll cut out these gaps of just me having a long dragging sip off of it, is usually when Ian's talking, I try to drink, and when I'm talking, Ian tries to drink. Except when we drink together, we have that first mouthful to get an idea of it. But as he's going on and talking about his feelings, I get to sip enthusiastically at mine. But basically, you just have to listen to me slurp here, because I've got nothing else going on. Mm. If you're questioning, was I prepared to just have it'd be just me talking to nobody? Bear in mind, that's how this podcast started. That's how this show started. It was me just having a beer and talking to the internet, talking to nobody. And I don't want to say I'm good at it. I'll say I'm experienced at it. I am well versed in the art of talking to absolutely nobody. Maybe that's why it's one of those things where I'm most interested in interesting conversation with myself, because you never know where the conversation is going. The topic could change, and then all of a sudden you're saying, "Hey, wait a minute, that reminds me about skidoos. Let's talk about skidoos." All of a sudden, and I get to go on a huge tangent about skidoos. The problem with having conversations with other people is they keep talking, and they want to tell you their story, and you have to listen to it. And you've got a cool anecdote that you want to try to impress in there and squeeze in, and it just you don't get to put it in at the same time. My good friend Ian Smith, who is a very competitive speaker, he tells me that I interrupt him too much, and I think that's just because no one usually interrupts him. He's not used to that. He's used to being the pushy talker. He's the talker who no one ever gets to get a word in edgewise. But no, I will come into your monologue and I will crush it. I will separate your words. I will find a way to get my opinion in there. And it's a weird. I'm not, I don't think, a confident or even overconfident person that is all like, you must listen to me right now. It's just, and I usually blame it. I do blame it on my zodiac sign. I'm a Leo, I tell people. So, as soon as someone gives me the stage, an audience, the floor, a microphone, ooh, don't you dare give me a microphone. I will never give that back, he says in front of a microphone. I don't know what causes me to hit the end broadcast button once I'm done this, but I keep going. This is why we have marathons that last forever. That's about me and how I like to talk a whole bunch. So let's continue talking a whole bunch, and we'll get into our third Irish red, or our third red ale, and this is the Irish Red coming from Paddy's Brewpub up the way in Nova Scotia. Now, the Blomidon Red, I did get to quickly chat with Matt, the brewer down at Bay of Fundy, and because I know he likes the I don't want to say he didn't lighter ales, but he doesn't get into the dark ales quite so much. He's not enthusiastic about it, but he knows he's going to make some, and so he made this Blomidon Red, and it wasn't exactly a passion project because it's not something that he cares about. So I was talking to young Rob, who I am now calling Young Rob, the brewer at Paddy's right now, and he meant this was before Paddy's Day, so I think this was February. Yeah, and he said they were coming out with a red ale for, and here it is, Paddy's 30th birthday. Paddy's Brewpub 30th anniversary. And I said to him, Rob, because he had just taken over as the brewmaster. I think he'd been the brewmaster for maybe a year, maybe less than. And he was mostly, he didn't need to do anything new. It was just, I've got the recipes, I'm making the beer, I'm doing the thing. And he was, he was good with doing that. I said, fine. He said, but they want me to do a 30th anniversary beer, and they want it to be an Irish Red. And I went, Rob, that's a lot of pressure, man. Like, I was hopefully a bit nicer about it than that. And we were gonna get Rob on here, but I'm having trouble getting through to him and email us. But so we're hopefully gonna get our wait, what is second? Yeah, our second Paddy's brewer on here, because we did talk to young Chris first. But now we got our young Rob, and so can you imagine? Can you imagine coming in and being like, okay, I've been here for a year. What are we doing? They said, well, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary as a brewery. You're like, damn, and we are Paddy's Brewpub, the Irish pub that's been there for 30 years. So the Irish pub, and you want to make an Irish red ale for your 30th anniversary. That's a huge amount of pressure. I think my eyes just got real wide. And I just said, well, that sounds like, yup, a lot of whoo. So here it says on the side of the can, our brewers, plural, wanted to celebrate 30 years of Paddy's with a classic Irish ale with a twist. The smooth caramel and hint of roast of a traditional Irish red ale is complemented perfectly by spicy, malted rye. That does sound good. I recall trying this. He got me to give it a whirl. But this is, and I don't want to overstep my inside knowledge. I think this is young Rob's first original recipe to go in cans. He probably did experiment and try a couple of things as well. But I think this is his first released Paddy's beer for himself. Now he did, he was telling me that he spent a few years working down at the Owens plant, so he was a brewer. Wow. As the foam comes out of the top of the can, I am literally dipping my nose in it and not getting a smell. So again, I get to describe the tale of acquiring a glass that I theoretically am not supposed to have. I think I told this story. This is my Paddy's glass. Look at that with the green screen. Well done. Thank you, sir. So it's got the invisibility to it, but that's the Paddy's restaurant. It's a nice, cool little can shape. I'd been in a few times. Well, I've been in Paddy's a number of times, and I said, listen, I'm trying to just get a glass. Do you sell any of the pint glasses? And the waitstaff, the server at the front, she says, no. Looks nervously over her shoulder at what I assume is one of the managers or head chefs or something, and he's walking through, and he just yells in the most acidic way possible. He yells, well, not if people keep stealing them from the restaurant or from the pub. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I have never stolen. I feel like that's kind of a rite of passage of what you're supposed to do there in Wolfville is steal the glasses, but no, I've never stolen a glass from there. I said, meal hall, yes. Going up to the meal hall at the university, I've done that a bunch of times. I had quite a few. I had a decent collection of meal hall shot glasses. They were fantastic. They're not supposed to be shot glasses, but that's how much beverage they used to allow you to take. I think they're all plastic now, but the old glass ones were great. So I said, "Hey, look, I'm sorry," and then and she said, "Don't we have one of those old ones from?" And I forget what she said. She was like from an event or from a thing, and he says, "Yeah, it's up by the phone." Like, one old glass, this gorgeous one with the Paddy's logo on it was up. It was literally up by the phone, and I said, "Sold! I'll take it. I'll buy that." I think I bought it for $10. And so she, yeah, they sold that to me, even though they were telling me that they don't sell their and what was the other option? I could have had one much like, here's my Roof Hound glass, which is a nice big thick pint glass, the pub glass that angles out to the top. But no, I wanted something cool, so I'm glad they had it for me. Glad they had something a little different, but it's just nice. Because that was the same way that I got the Bay of Fundy one. I said every week, or well, not every week, but I go in once a month for my music thing, and every time I go in, I say, "Listen, can I buy a Bay of Fundy glass yet?" So finally, the last time I was in there, no, two months ago, and she said, just take one. You ask every time. Just here, have a glass. And I went, woo! So there you go, kids, whoever, anyone listening, watching this, perseverance is the key. That is the name of the game. Except the name of the game is also Monopoly, and you ain't winning. Look at the so there's a nice copperiness to that. It's very similar in copper and see-throughedness. What's that? Translucency, something like that. To the Blomidon Red. It's giving off. Now that's giving me the tomato. That's giving me the tomato soup vibes out of that one. I would like it to all fit in my 16-ounce glass, but the problem is that there's oh my god, you're the worst can. It keeps spilling over the edge, and the amount, the spillover amount is not. Do not let that be an example, be the representative of this beer, because you get the 4-ounce pour, and they're like, here you go, have a little 4-ounce glass, and you're like, oh, have a little taster of this, and you're like, oh yeah, a mouthful or half a mouthful, that's fine. But yeah, if they like dipped a wooden spoon in a pint and let you lick the wooden spoon, I don't think, because you'd get more. Oh, this is nice. It's a wooden spoon pilsner. Actually, it's an imperial stout. Oh, okay. Well, that's not what I was expecting. Sorry. There's more voices. Sorry, they're just coming out. It's just gonna happen. You're gonna get different voices. I want to say, when it's just me, you get more voices than when it's me and Ian. But no, you probably get twice as many weird voices when it's Ian and I. He does that one too. Where did we get that voice? A little hello, and you just sort of you switch to kind of, I guess, the back of your throat. What's that bit? Rob Brydon? Yes, Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon does this bit called "A Small Man in a Tiny Box" or something like that, and he does this voice, and it sounds like it's a guy talking at the back of a, and I can't do it. I haven't figured out how he does it. I need to watch it a whole bunch of how he sounds like he's talking at you from the inside of a very small, like a jewel box, like a ring box or something like that. There's an echoey stifledness to it. I think this is a 16-ounce glass, just as soon as the head calms down, but I'm getting the last tiny little bit in there. Ooh, one of the other things that I was going to mention, so craft beer, Nova Scotia Pioneer, it says around the can, since 1995. So 2025, 30th anniversary, and I know that Propeller always says we're the oldest brewery in Canada, but the story of Propeller, and I looked it up, is that Propeller opened their doors, started selling beer in 1997. Ha 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 ha. A year after I graduated high school. But Paddy's has been around, at least the Kentville one. I think they moved to Wolfville when I was in Wolfville, but they were in Kentville and making beer since 1995. Oldest craft brew pub in Nova Scotia. And I can happily say that now. Oldest craft beer in the province. There it is, all 473 milliliters, 16 ounces, right in there. What what did I say I was getting out of this? I'm getting smooth caramel, hint of roast, perfectly complemented by spicy malted rye. It's a rye? Interesting. They should put more rye in red ales, I feel. Here we go. Well, cheers. Spicy malted rye. Yup. Smooth caramel. Hint of roast. No. I'm getting a bit of that. The Roof Hound had the smell of the tomato soup. This one has the taste of the tomato soup. So maybe something didn't quite go right in the temperature style of things. Looks gorgeous. Looks delightful. The head on it was phenomenal. Red ale? The Paddy's Raven is supposed to be a brown ale, and it sometimes does the soup thing to me. Maybe it's just hard to brew right there, because it's like you're in an old pharmacy, so unless you're well insulated, and I honestly, it gives me the fear of brewing when I'm sort of okay. Now, what has to happen now is that I need to keep my beer between like I don't know 16 and 19 degrees Celsius for 2 weeks. I don't know why I said weeks like that. For 2 weeks while it ferments, and I'm less than confident that my house will stay there because overnight it gets a little cold, kind of, sort of, and we're getting into sort of the colder time of things. I My first batch, my Irish stout, I let it ferment down here in the basement because I was worried about it, I don't know, being out upstairs. My second batch, my black IPA, I let that ferment upstairs, and I think I did that in the summertime. So I don't think it got stronger. It was still only like a 5.2 for a black IPA, which is a little disappointing. And it it was okay, but the volatile temperatures around now, because it's dipping down to like 3 degrees at night, but it's 17 degrees in the daytime. So it's doing that thing where from day to day. Yeah, if I look up currently, what do we have by Grapthaw's hammer? So tomorrow 12, and then 13, 13, 16, 16, 15, but 12 and 13 to 16, but getting as low as 4 at night. So a 10-degree swap up and down, which is probably pretty normal. Regardless, it is vaguely dipped down to like 16, 17 degrees. I'll read all my stuff about my cool beer kits that I've got going on while I drink apart this Irish Red from Paddy's. So I knew that for young Rob, it's probably a lot of weight on his shoulders for trying to put out a 30th anniversary perfect Irish Red. And I remember tasting it, having a little taste of it. I was very excited for him. And then I tasted it and I went, yeah. And it's a little tomatoey. I think it's not its best. It doesn't taste very much like any kind of Irish Red I've had, and even the Roof Hound didn't. But it was hazy. It was hazy and interesting. And honestly, I'd have another. Yeah, it's different and delicious. It's malty and good. something's going on with this Irish Red, and I'm sorry, Rob. Something went a little not right with that one. We tried his Dortmunder a little while ago, which now was that one of his, or was that the last one that he used from before? These are all parts of the things that I wanted to ask him about, but I haven't been back to chat him up about that. Which is why I wish he would answer my emails. The Dortmunder from Paddy's, that was a tasty one. I really liked that one, but the Irish Red, something's not quite right. It is drinkable. It is a 5.5. But no, I'm trying to search past that. Yeah, that artificially sweet, that tomato soup kind of flavor thing. Yeah, I think that's it's not gonna be as good a mark. That's too bad. That's gonna be more like a I 6.2 is too low, but 7 is too high. So 6. Let's try for a 6.6. 6.6 out of 10. I don't think it went the way that he wanted it to, because I can't see how you would drink that as a beer maker and say yes, perfect. I think you would drink that and go, oh, dip. What did I? Oh, yeah, something went a little weird in the temperatures in there at some point. Going back to the Roof Hound, still tasty. I do like it. I think I'm sticking with everything. 8.8 still seems a little low, but it didn't. It was good. It was good and solid. I feel like 8.8 is a good solid. 9.3 for the interestingness of everything that's going on in the Blomidon Red. Oh, and after the Paddy's one. That's so welcome. Oh, that's delightful. I do like it. Yes. Ian's back next week, and I think we're doing something a little special. He doesn't know it yet. I got to make sure that we got everybody on board for this one. It's time for pumpkin ales again, and I've had a one or two, but it's mostly just that tweaking to the recipe, see who's ready. And I love that for holiday beers. You get, is that a pie? No. Oh, come on. Tom is testing my mathematical formation. Oh, what is that one? That's a one-legged pie. Is that a lower T out of 10? Yep, I don't remember all my mathematical symbols. Regardless of that, we are So Tom, in fact, is hopefully going to join us next week for pumpkin ale night, and we'll try to do some different things. We've got a couple of people trying to. Oh, Tao. I probably learned that. I've forgotten most of everything that I ever learned in high school calculus and university comp sci. Tau of 10. Tau out of 10. That's a good band name. You should pop that in the old chat. So yeah, pumpkin ales next week. I want to thank Roof Hound, Les at Roof Hound, and Matt at Bay of Fundy, and young Rob at Paddy's Beer Company. And, of course, Tom for math shaming me in the chat for being here this week. We're back with Ian and hopefully a few friends next week with some pumpkin ales of the saison. So you can find our archives over at the YouTube page, youtube.com/@drinknsdry. You can find our podcast in all the podcasty places. I also put some excerpts and little edits up on the YouTube Shorts and on the Instagram and on the TikToks. I think that's it. Or you can go straight to the source at drinkns.unsupervised.beer. But thanks for tuning in, and I will be back here again with some more